First of all, I want to remind everybody the Q4 earnings is happening on Wednesday. What is it? 26th, January 26th. And it's earning for Q4 of last year.
Mhm.
And I think everybody should pay attention to this because of 3 reasons. And 2 short-term reasons and 1 long-term. So one of the short-term reasons is I think it's going to be a blowout quarter, meaning it's going to go past most of the analysts' expectations. It's going to do surprisingly well compared to most people's expectations. And another short-term reason is 2 quarters ago, Elon Musk said, I'm not going to be on the earnings calls anymore unless there's something important I have to say. So last quarter, the third quarter's earnings call, he wasn't on there. But for this earning call, the upcoming earnings call on Wednesday, he will be on there, implying that he has something important to say.
He's announced this?
Yes.
Okay.
He said on Twitter, I'm going to update on the product roadmap on the earnings call. Nobody knows what that means because he always tweets cryptic messages like this. But I think it's interesting to watch out for. It just—
How much you want to bet a new product will be coming out?
The chance is very low because if he would, as far as I've heard, I've never heard any presentation being booked. When they review a new product, usually they do a whole presentation, they show the product and the whole thing, right?
Okay.
But this one, my guess is he's gonna update more so on like how fast he's gonna produce the current cars, when Cybertrucks are gonna come out, and maybe he will say, oh, in 6 months time, we're going to review a new product or something, but I don't expect him to review the actual product on the earnings call.
No, yeah, not on the earnings call, but there is a lineup coming out soon of some sort.
Yeah, whatever it is, I think it's going to be interesting to follow, and it's not going to be very often he does this because he said he's not going to be on the earnings calls anymore. And he's probably only going to be on there once or at most probably twice a year. So, to be able to listen to a mind like Elon Musk talk about how he thinks about the business and where he's planning to take the company is going to be very interesting, even for people who are not interested in stocks.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any predictions?
For what?
About, what he's going to say and just the call overall. Like, what are you expecting from the call?
Well, I predict, first of all, they're going to announce the earnings. So the revenue, the profit from—
That's a given, Canino.
Yeah, from last quarter.
Yeah.
And I expect it to be a lot higher, not just a little tiny bit, a lot higher than analysts.
Do you have a number?
Expect. No, I'm going to review a number.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you watch it and they say, oh, it's in line with analysts' expectations, then I'm wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, but I look at the analysts' numbers, I just think they're too low.
Mm. So that's why way over, but we don't know what your number is. I'm going to be on that call. I think I'm going to be working, but I'm going to, still hop in.
Yeah, it's after market closes, so it's going to be later. But
yeah.
But yeah, I expect everything, every line of item, revenue, profit, even the outlook for this year or next year, going to be higher than analysts' expectations. I still think Tesla is the most misunderstood company in the world.
Do you think you're just biased and you're just a fan, like a fanboy? Or do you actually like you're non-biased making these opinions and comments? Because there are a lot of fanboy cult people out there who are hardcore, like Apple people, for example, or Tesla people. Like,
Yeah.
how self-aware are you on where you stand on that cult-like following?
Well, there's no point in, claiming whether I'm biased or not, because whether you're biased or not, you're gonna say you're not biased. So, but I think I'm gonna make my prediction public on this podcast every quarter, and over 2-3 years, if I'm right, then I'm not biased. I'm just right. If I'm wrong, I'm probably just too optimistic. I'm biased. I'm too optimistic about the company. But based on how I feel today, is I think before 2020, before the stock shoot up, maybe under 5% of people understand what Tesla was. And through 2020, 2021, Tesla got very famous. People look into it. Now it's probably 40% of people understand what Tesla is, but there's still a huge gap compared to, let's say, Amazon and Apple and Google. These companies, in the beginning, they were very misunderstood. Like, people didn't know how Amazon was gonna grow, how they're gonna be like, and how they're gonna make money. But today, after maybe 15 years, 20 years, it becomes pretty clear. People understand Amazon, Google, and Apple. I would say 90%. And Tesla is not at that point, in my opinion. And in the next, I would say probably 3 years, it's going to become more and more clear on what Tesla is, and people are going to, quarter after quarter, people are going to gain more of a more understanding of Tesla. And I predict from this quarter on, at least for the next 6 quarters, it's going to be a record quarter every single quarter. Meaning they're going to set a new record with each quarter, with everything, with delivery, with revenue, with profit, with everything.
That's a big statement. Even with COVID and the logistics issue, you think?
Yeah. The logistic issue, what people forget is that in 2020, Tesla was shut down. The whole factory was shut down. They weren't allowed to open for around a month or a month and a half. And they broke record in 2020. 2021, there was a huge logistic problem in the world, and they broke record. So this year, if anything, I expect them to break the record easier than past 2 years.
Okay.
And based on the analyst expectation of their delivery numbers this year for 2022, I think they're too low too. I can give a number on that, I guess. I'm expecting 1.7 million cars. That's not my, what do you call it? Like ideal case. That's my base case. I expect that as a minimum. But on average, I think analysts are expecting 1.4, 1.5. But even my low number is 1.7, much higher than theirs. Yeah, the last point is the long-term reason why I think people should pay attention to Tesla is Tesla is a lot more than just a car company. And it is going to affect everybody, whether you're in stocks or not, whether you're even in business or not, it wouldn't matter. It will affect your life. Just like how the Industrial Revolution changed everybody's lives, just how when they invented the internet, it changes everybody's lives. I expect Tesla is going to change how everybody lives in maybe 10 years or 5 years even into the future. So, when internet was invented, even if you didn't want to participate in internet, I mean, like if you didn't want to start a company or invest in internet, that's fine. But understanding internet will still be a big help to you, even if you're just a user of the internet. So over time, whether you like it or not, Tesla is going to affect how everybody lives, and get on and understand it earlier is going to benefit your life,
Is
no
this
matter
because
who you
of
are.
is this because of AI?
Oh, there's a lot of things. Yeah, AI is a big part of it. Self-driving is a big part of it. I think their ambition is underestimated.
I think that's fair to say in all of like tech companies who are trying to do big things.
No. Well, they were, like, for example, Amazon's ambition was underestimated.
Yeah.
Google, Apple, all of them. But the crazy part about Tesla is after Amazon developed like crazy for 10, 15 years, Jeff Bezos retired. Like, he left Amazon right now. And Apple developed for 10, 15 years, and Steve Jobs died. Right? Google's CEO left. And all of them are now, in my opinion, are profiting off of the genius back then they developed. They're not really innovating much today. Whereas for Tesla, they're at the point where Amazon, Google, and Apple were back then, but then there's a possibility that Elon Musk is going to stay on the company for another 10 to 15 years. And we're going to see, this is the first time ever, a long-term vision CEO that's very relentless in execution and pushing the company forward, that's going to stay in the same company for over 30 years. We've never seen this happen. And we don't know what will happen to a company if Steve Jobs stayed in Apple for another 10 years, and Jeff Bezos stayed in Amazon for another 10 years, and Larry Page stayed in Google for another 10 years. We don't know what would happen. From my perspective, maybe I might be wrong, but from my perspective is, since those visionary CEOs left the company stopped innovating and pushing for a big vision. Now they're just trying to maximize their profit.
Yeah,
off of the same idea they had 10 years ago.
Yeah. This was the biggest fear in Apple, actually, was because Steve Jobs was the mastermind behind pushing that, like what you said earlier, on his vision. So when the last product that he was working on together with the team release, no one's sure of where Apple's going to go from there now.
Yeah, before Steve Jobs died, he was trying to build a city. He built a big building. I forgot what the building was called, but he said, I don't want there to be any corner on the building. So the whole building took like miles and miles of space, but then it's all rounded.
Yeah.
With all glass, and people can look this up. It looks pretty cool. But just give you an idea on the difference between having Steve Jobs on there and not having him. It's not just the phone. Oh, he makes the phone better or a little bit more better. No, he's like, imagine a whole different thing that's no one can think of. And that's Tesla, where Tesla is at today.
Well, knock on wood, because then there's still lots of time between now and then that Elon will be a big part of Tesla's business.
Yeah, and I'm just, interested in seeing how this play out. It's very interesting to me, but I'm not saying, I don't have any insider information knowing that Elon Musk is stay on. It's possible, it's entirely possible that he says next year that, oh, I think Tesla is mature enough to run on its own. I'm going to go run SpaceX, and he resigns and he leaves Tesla too. But I'm just saying, if he does stay on, it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. And you would want to follow it every step of the way instead of missing out. Like how when internet first started, everybody was like, oh, internet's for nerds. That's nothing to do with me. But now everybody is trying to learn the internet, and whoever knows the internet better than others have a huge advantage. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. This podcast, like this particular episode, is so jam packed. Like, I felt like coming into this episode that I actually don't know too much about everything. But because I don't know too much about everything and how you explained it, I actually want to learn more about it so that the next time that we're on here, I can speak more on like the different topics that we talked about.
Yeah, both of us are gonna listen to the earnings call. And
Yeah,
we're gonna think
I'm
about
excited
it,
for that actually. Yeah.
and then we're gonna update for all of you what we think about it on the next episode.